Hey, what's up guys? This is Andrew. We're going to be doing a video on AK rifle setups. I've been getting some comments from a few people asking to do this video. So we're going to talk about it today. Here I've got my wife's AK, and then there's my AK. I've got another one, but I don't really like the setup on it right now. So we may do another video later on that one when I get to where I like it. So these are both M92s from Zastava Arms USA. Talk about this one first. I've got a Midwest Industries flash hider on the front. I really like flash hiders, especially on AKs. One thing is that these have big old fireballs come out the front, so if we can reduce that with a flash hider, that is a good idea. The other thing is that when you put a brake on a gun, it's very concussive to the people around you, but downrange, it's actually nicer. If you are downrange of a flash hider, you can feel that concussive force because it's being directed towards you. So the Midwest Industries flash hider is like 40 bucks, and I've got it on two different AKs, and I really like it. After that, I have an Ultimac, which to me is my favorite way to mount optics to an AK. The reason why I like Ultimacs so much is because it's very lightweight and it's simple. I haven't had any failures on them. I have tried other ways, and I keep coming back to the Ultimac. Now here I have a PowerTac M5G3, which is my favorite flashlight. I've got these on a bunch of AKs, ARs, and shotguns, and I carry two in my everyday carry. I haven't broken one yet. They've been very good to me, and they're like 70 bucks a pop, and they're 2,000 lumens, and they're magnet rechargeable. Runs on an 18650 battery. Now that's mounted up with I think a Monstrum. I don't know. It's a Chinesium mount you can get on Amazon, or check Monstrum's website. It's hard to put flashlights on guns like handheld lights now. Everything is being driven towards scout lights and things that are more meant to be mounted on the rifle. But I like these, and like I said, I haven't broken one yet, and I do a shit ton of classes. But to mount it there, I had to shim it with electric tape because otherwise the mount is just a little bit too big for the flashlight. You can also use heat shrink and put that on the light and then mount it. That way there's no wobble in the light. All right, then moving back, I have an aim point on it. I actually don't know which aim point it is. H1, T1, H2, T2. One of those. I got it for a real good deal from Jay Gibson, my friend who has Prelectus training, and he's a tactical response instructor. And it's sitting on an arms mount, which is a good idea because if this goes down, I can just throw that lever and then go back to my iron sights. My red dot and my irons are both zeroed at 200 yards. That's my favorite distance to zero. I zero everything at that. You could get a better zero by doing max point blank and some math and stuff like that. I found it real simple to just zero at 50 and zero at 200 if I have the opportunity. If you don't have a range that goes out to 200, I recommend a 50-yard zero. Then I have a Palmer Bulgarian magazine that has steel reinforced locking lugs and feed lips. For fighting mags, I recommend having mags with the steel reinforcements because those are the parts that break on AK mag. Locking lugs and the feed lips. These have been good to me, but there certainly are better ones out there. This pistol grip comes on the M92. I actually really like it. Even though it is a little bit narrow, I wouldn't even mind having it on other AKs that don't come with it. Then we have an SB Tactical brace that is side folding. You got to push up on it, and then it will fold off to the side. So that's nice if you are using it for like a truck gun or something, or you're putting it in a bag. If you're doing that, I would recommend getting a 20-round magazine because 30-rounders stick out really far, and if you have a 20-rounder in there, you can put it in more bags. Just do your own research on that. I'm actually not like 100% on any of the 20-rounders right now. Now, when you're ready to use the gun, you can just flip the stock over, and it locks into place. It mounts on a Picatinny rail section on the back. Now, the sling I'm using is the Combat Art V3 rifle sling that I sell in my store, link in the description. Now I'm just noticing this, it has 550 cord at the front. I actually prefer shock cord. 16 inches of shock cord that is 1/8 inch thick, tied in a knot at the top, run it through that hole so that's in the middle, then tie that into a knot, then mount your sling to both ends of the paracord and it'll give you some stretch. It makes it real nice when you're wearing the rifle for a long period of time because that little stretch takes the weight out of the gun. Now, anytime I'm wearing a rifle that doesn't have that, I hate that rifle. On the back end, I've stuffed the excess from the sling inside of the brace, and I secured it with this little piece of shock cord that has a nice handle from Kentuckiana Gun Works. He's my bro, he makes great products. You should be buying your lube from him.
Did you see that?
This is gonna be a double spitter.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
She was known as a two-spitter.
That's correct.
Holy shit.
But yeah, I just put this little thing on the back, secure the excess sling, and this makes it so the sling doesn't dangle down nearly as much, and you could just grab your rifle and go to work. That also makes it easier for switching hands because you don't have a sling wrapped around your neck. Now, some people will freak out about that. You should be really good at shooting with both hands. Having two hands is a luxury. Now, I bet you're wondering what trigger I have in it. It's a really nice, really smooth trigger, and it's the one that came with the gun. AK triggers are surprisingly super smooth. I have had friends tell me horror stories about aftermarket triggers on guns. I heard it all secondhand, so I'm not gonna start calling out companies, but I will recommend that you leave the factory trigger in the gun. If you need a fancy trigger to be good at shooting, you're not good at shooting. As for lubricating the gun, I just use white lithium grease. Go to AutoZone, hardware store, something like that. Look for a thing that says white lithium grease, or buy some Kentuckiana Gun Works grease and use that. Now, my rifle. Up at the top, I have a 4-piece flash hider. It's a US made one. I forget who makes it. Again, a PowerTac M5G3 on a Chinesium mount. The light is shimmed with electric tape. This is a Holosun 515CM. So it's a solar power one. I don't care about solar power. The batteries last long enough anyways. But it was a better deal than the non-solar power one at the time, so why not? Comes with a QD mount. So again, I can take it off if it stops working. And that's it on an Ultimac rail. And then this is the cool part. This handguard does not come with this rifle. And it doesn't fit this rifle. So this handguard, I use a wood burner to shape the back lugs that goes into the receiver. And then I cut off a piece of metal on the front to put it in the gun. Then I secured it with epoxy to make it fit. The epoxy didn't work, so then I applied JB Weld up at the front. Now that may freak people out, but I really like the standard handguard. It has a heat shield in it, whereas this one just has wood, and it's comfy and simple. Then I got 75 round drum on it. It's one of the ones that you have to wind up on the back. I think it's a Chinese made one, I'm not sure. It came with my Norinco, and this isn't the right answer for everyone, and it's not my only home defense rifle. If I thought I needed a lot of ammo, I could grab this and have a lot of ammo. But it certainly adds a lot of weight, and it makes a lot of noise when you're moving. All right, moving back, since this was an M92 tactical, it comes with a piece on the back that's for a buffer tube. I added this UTG folding stock adapter. It was $15, and it's only meant for AKs. This one, just like the other one, allows you to fold the stock to the side. It's very beefy. It's not fast to fold to the side, but I don't need it to be fast to fold to the side. I need it to be fast to fold it back into position. So far, it's been good. It's a cheap product, you know. Who knows if it will last? I've actually been very surprised on everything that like my students have told me about the UTG products that they have. And also, I think people need to stop caring so much about what people are going to think about what they have on their rifle. Like, stop being so hyper-focused on gear. There actually is good, cheap gear out there. But if it's cheap, it should still be reliable and quality. Now, that being said, it is pretty ghetto how I mounted this. The threads on it did not quite fit this mount, so I had to really force it in there, and then I had to JB weld it to secure it. The buffer tube adapter, also, I cut some of the metal like as I was torquing it in, so I had to hammer that down and JB weld it in place. So your JB Weld AK special. So if you're afraid of doing shit like that to your gun, then don't buy that adapter. The Magpul BTR brace on the back, that is my favorite brace. Now, sling, again, I have it secured with shock cord, and this is actually the truck gun sling, which is my favorite sling. Now, I don't have it running the way I normally do on my rifles with the truck gun slings. I actually secure it right here with shock cord. That way, when I fold it, the sling is still secure to the stock. Fold it. Now, with the drum, it gets in the way, but it's less dangly when it's secured right there. Now guess what trigger's in it? That's right, the one that came with the gun. Now for training mags, I use these Croatian bolt hold open magazines. You don't need the bolt hold open feature. It's not necessary. It's just a thing that guys think they need because they own AR-15s, when really the reality is you should be topping off your gun before it runs out of ammo. And actually, this locking the bolts to the rear makes it a little bit harder to eject the magazine. So for a smoother reload, you actually don't want it to lock open. You can see the electric tape at the bottom. That's because when you drop these, sometimes the base plate pops off and then the spring comes out and everything goes flying. So if you just tape that, it's not a big deal. Again, I just use these for training. Actually, when I was buying these, I had a package of them come where some of them had all the base plates blown off already while it was shipping. So that's it, guys. A couple basic AK setups. I don't like doing too many crazy things to the gun. The big thing with AKs is they get heavy really quick. So that's why I like the Ultimac rail and just a standard handguard. If you were to try to put cool parts on your gun that are going to add weight, I would try to add that weight to the back of the gun. A couple things to keep in mind is that AKs also get real hot towards the front. So having a short foregrip is actually a good idea, but you have to make sure that you can still rock AK mags in and that they're going to be out of the way when the mag comes out. Another thing people are going to wonder about is the safety. Now, I don't mind if you put a different safety on the gun that allows you to not break your grip to put it on fire. But you should also be good at working the normal AK safety so that if you ever run into one and you had to use it, you're not conditioned to only use your one special Gucci safety. Another thing is guys like to bend these to make it smoother to put on fire and safe. Just be careful with that, because if you do that, it's very easy to put it so that it's so light to flick onto fire and safe that it will actually put itself on fire while it's just against your body. But that's it, guys. Just let me know if you have any questions on these or if there's another video like this you want me to do. Class is coming up in Texas, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Tennessee, Kentucky, Florida, of course. We just got access to a range in Mayaca, Florida. One of the ones that Green Line uses all the time. The family that owns that are really good people. And that's it. So thank you for watching. Keep fighting communism, kill all pedophiles, and remember that training saves lives.